Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Summit 3. It's time now for game number 2 of our best of 3 on day number 2. We've already pushed 2 teams forward into the winner bracket semifinals. Today, we'll move another 2 along and we'll complete our top 4 in the winners bracket. It's 5EVA taking on CSW right now. CSW trailing 0-1 in the best of 3.
All right, here we go. Game 2. Let's get into the draft, guys. Things starting to unravel here. We'll see what CSW have in mind as far as Game 2 is concerned. They're going to give away the Batrider first pick to the Singaporean squad. No questions asked. You go that Venge. If you give Venge with the Bat, or if you just don't pick the Venge as a pseudo counter to the Bat, it's kind of silly, kind of foolish.
But the main other option is the Disruptor, but it doesn't seem like it's CSW's hero.
So Venge Sniper. The Sniper, which worked out well for 5EVA in Game 1, going to be in the hands of CSW this time around. Enigma still in the pool if 5EVA want to go for that jungling support again. At the same time, Batrider hero that likes to fall back and take the jungle farm. So when you pick the Bat, more often than not, you do see kind of a two laning support kind of setup with Bat wanting to take jungle stacks for himself. One of the support stacks for the Bat, the other kind of zones the offlaner, and more likely to be the case for a 5EVA, but yeah, it's still not out of the question that if you pick up someone like an Enigma at some stage of the draft.
Yeah. Pick number 2 for 5EVA. They've got their great initiator to start things off. What do they want to follow this one up? There's the if they wanted, in theory, there's like that Storm Spirit you can go for to kind of dominate the Sniper, a secondary jumper. They don't have to go for it just yet, though. They can hold off on that pick. Go for a safe, stable support if they'd like. Yeah. There's always things like Lion in the pool, the Skywrath for more aggressive laning support.
The Lion Skywrath is just like it doesn't really reveal anything. It's a good support.
Earthshaker's not bad here, actually. I kind of like Earthshaker versus the Sniper.
Absolutely. Helps protect the Batrider a bit, too.
Especially after some of the America games earlier today. That Earthshaker from Fly for Void Boy, oh my goodness, he was a beast.
Now, a support we didn't mention, the Ancient Apparition gets taken and doesn't really...
It's kind of a classic combo. The Bat AA, very, very good at just finding pickoffs around the map.
Yeah. The AA just shines as well with like a secondary support as well. So mention that Bat is rarely picked up with a jungling support. AA, you put him with a setup like a Rubik or something and you just dominate your lane. And there's lots of carries this hero can synergize with nicely as well. So
Enigma now banned out. The CSW did go for it the last time around. It didn't end up... no, sorry, it was 5EVA, it was 5EVA actually who went for it. So they show some respect for it.
GoDz likes to play the jungling support. It's kind of known for his Chen play especially, which he won't get here. Banned out in both Game 1 and Game 2.
As far as this third ban goes, it's kind of a tough call here. You've no idea what approach 5EVA wants to take. I would say the most common carry that goes with these two is probably Morphlane if you look at like the past year and a half of Dota 2. Batrider AA, your shotgun works really well with the AA. It's a very good just pick-off lineup around the map, but Morphlane seems to have fallen a bit out of favor. I'm not sure if that's really what 5EVA have in mind.
Miracle's all about playing the carries which are out of favor some of the time, though, so could be saying that suits his style. He's like, you think this hero's unpopular? Let me pick it just because of that. He picks the untrendy heroes to some extent, but Slack banned out for now by CSW. CSW themselves have the Venge Sniper, so probably be seeing the Sniper in the mid lane, which means SF is one of the heroes that comes to mind when you put mid there. Doesn't win the lane against... There's not really any heroes that just straight up beat a Sniper 1v1 mid. With the new changes to the Sniper Shrapnel, the added range, and unless you're looking to constantly gank him out, the Sniper generally matches up well against almost any hero mid, so see what 5EVA decide to send to that mid lane.
Alright, Beastmaster now banned out. Arstek is a possibility. There's one hero that has been ignored so far this series, and that would be your Troll Warlord. We'll see if they want to snag him now. The Sniper Troll, I don't know if I would say a classic duo, but it's been a go-to combination for the past week or two. Maybe a month or two at this point.
You've got the minus armor and bonus damage from a Vengeance, from the Vengeful Spirit to kind of complement those two heroes as well, which could make it pretty nice. But
I definitely feel like you want to consider dual core when you're up against Bat. Going for one carry like a Sniper, you've got swap, but you don't want to build your entire game plan around hoping that you can swap a Sniper out to safety.
And Troll just so good as far as laning out Batrider as much as possible. You don't want to let Batrider just get too much out of the lane stage. And Troll all you need is one support. You've got a good slow, you've got some good nuke damage, as well as the furthest for some good right-click damage, and that's where I think Troll actually fairly good at zoning. It's not going to be a full solution to a Batrider, but we'll see what the teams have in mind. Earthshaker is still in the pool. You kind of mentioned that as a possibly 5 ever. Still looking pretty good. The ESAA is a good setup for a Cold Feet.
It's also good for CSW, I feel like.
Yeah.
I think either team could really use that Earthshaker.
ES is just a really good hero in general, I feel, right now. He's going to become the upgrade version of the Sand. It used to be the Sand King that was popular. The Earthshaker got ignored while the Sand King got picked, and now it feels like it's the other way around, which is...
The Sand King really excels when you don't have to fight too much early, and you can afford to just jungle. Whereas it feels like the Earthshaker is the go-to support when you need someone who really shores up your laning stage and also brings that teamfight presence later on. Obviously, he is slower to farm the Blink Dagger, doesn't have quite as much damage output in the early to mid game, but later on, we have seen time and again, Earthshakers win games if they get that Blink, get some good initiations off. CSW, though, it's not a support they want. They're going to grab their Queen of Pain now. Lane Dominator, but who is this Queen of Pain designed to dominate?
Yeah, but I think it may even be a safe lane Queen of Pain with the Sniper picked up. Probably the Musica hero, kind of one of his favorite heroes of all time. I can still hear his voice in my ears every time I played with this guy. Like, you get to a point where it's like you picked 4 of your 5 heroes in your draft for your team, and when I used to play within a team, Risk, the captain at the time, would be like, Musica, what hero do you want? Like, what's going to fit this draft? And he would always be like, Queen of Pain. It's always a good Queen of Pain game, and Risk would be like, I don't know, they've got like 5 hard disables.
They've got like 20 disables.
A lot of burst damage. They've got a Lion, they've got a Bat, they've got all these things. Are you sure you don't want something a bit like tankier? That's just like like DK was a good hero back then. Viper was a good hero. Like, I think we should just get something a bit stable. It's like, no, trust me, trust my quap. He always wanted Queen of Pain. It's the Musica hero.
Going for the PA, and by the way, GoDz, there is a Wisp in the pool. That PA-Wisp combination used to be very popular, primarily strong against physical damage lineups, which CSW haven't really committed to. If they went Troll, I'd feel like it's amazing. It is worth mentioning that, of course, that the headshot is basically an MKB. So even with the PA evasion, you've still got a 40% chance that you're hitting no matter what.
If you were going for the Wisp PA, though, would you pick the PA before the Wisp? I feel like you're more worried about CSW maybe like picking the Wisp.
I'm actually not sure why you show a PA now, because there's nothing that it like obviously deals with. It's a good gap closer. It's not bad against Sniper, but again, Sniper has a mini MKB with headshots, so evasion is not like the ultimate trump card this game by any means. Well, so there, obviously, 5-Eva, just confident in the hero. But
yes.
I think that's the main mindset where this pick comes from, more so than like, oh my god, PA is amazing right now.
And Chilling Touch, pretty nice with a PA as far as when you Blink Strike in with the extra attack speed, you can get that bonus Chilling Touch damage off.
It's very good at chasing Quap as well. I feel like generally it's kind of sad if you have to play against a PA as a Quap.
Dang, CSW, no bonus time, going to go for the Tide as their offlane. Immediate Visage
They're
pick.
trying to pressure them with their time at this point,
yeah,
it feels like.
They've got 25 seconds. I mean, this is just a ban at least, so I mean, you could ban a hero that... You could make a bad ban here, but it's not going to affect the game too much.
That's just smart drafting by Miracle. If you see your opponents are down to 2 seconds of reserve time and they make their pick, you don't want to let them sit back and think your reserve time becomes their reserve time very quickly.
Yes. Yeah.
That precious resource will not be granted. Again, GoDz running out of time here. They're down to 1 second. What are they going to ban? Is that even a random? Troll. Okay, that's probably an intentional ban.
Yeah, they had one second left at least.
My screen
almost down to 0.
Yeah, it looked like it was about to tick down to 0.
So there comes your Bloodseeker. Now they've got a good 35 seconds to decide their last pick. They need a support. At least.
Why do you think Visage?
There's
no Lycan. There's no Drow. I guess they could maybe tri-lane with the Visage AA.
I think they want to fight a lot in the mid game. It's huge nuke damage. Your PA can just kind of jump in. You've got support from the Visage. With Soul Assumptions, nukes are followed up. So it's much about... I feel like it's mostly picked for the damage output of Soul Assumption. Being kind of a consistent fighter. Compared to something like I feel like you compare it to something like a Lion. Like Lion... You can gank and get a guaranteed kill every kind of 2.5 minutes with Finger of Death. With Visage, it's much more consistent fighting, not quite the same reliable damage output of a Lion or the same kind of lockdown, but a bit more kind of consistency and more uptime.
I really feel like a Rubik would have been a better pick here, though. You've got good, reliable initiation on Quap, goes really well with AA. Also gives you some roaming potential, which...
And so many
it's
spells
Visage,
to steal, too.
It's Visage AA. They have 1 stun. It's Well, I guess Flame Break and Visage Familiars, but really it's just Lasso. Obviously, they have something in mind. I'm sure 5EVA have a plan, but
so last pick
feels like a risky draft.
Could it even be a farming Visage? Is that a possibility?
Could be. Core Visage. Then I would have no idea what to expect at that point.
It's not standard by any means. EG did it for a little while when they were playing, I think, Fear on the farming Visage, but not the most common thing. And we'll see them kind of spend their time here deciding what the last pick is going to be. An Earthshaker, so could well be that farming Visage
or Core Shaker,
or yeah, like a mid Shaker.
Lubby's going to take your A.
I don't think you want
Miracle on the Shaker. It is a Core Shaker, it appears.
I don't know if you want mid Shaker versus Sniper.
Maybe even Safe Lane. You could run the PA mid.
I think the PA is much more likely the mid hero. Miracle generally playing the safe lane farmer as well.
The other option is some sort of dual lane mid. But even then, I think PA is still the better carry to throw there.
Yeah, maybe like a PA with the Ancient Apparition potentially.
I mean, as for CSW, obviously, I think it goes without saying here, much more standard lanes. You're just going to have 2D. The Watermelon thrown into the off lane, Chains and Musica. Either hero can go mid, probably the Sniper and the Quap safe lane. It could be swapped around depending on what they're expecting from 5EVA. And then your Venge and Lich, pretty interchangeable. The Lich likely to kind of roam around and see which lane needs the help. Maybe start off with that Deny and in the off lane to help the Tide, or even mid just to secure the Sniper early on.
Okay. Well.
But in general, less surprises from that line.
Yeah, we'll see things unravel here. Fun to cast and watch some of this SEA Dota as they are trying and doing some different things here.
It's fun to see Miracle finally doing something different. I mean, Lord knows he's a fantastic player at that one style. But when you play it so much, even if you're really good at it, at some point, teams are going to get better at countering it. They'll figure out the heroes to ban. Maybe it's not even your cores. It's supports that work well with them. Strategies that can just shut down your teammates earlier that just deny Miracle, and then the strategy falls apart. Even if they want to go back to the Naga carry or, you know, something else along those lines, your anti-mage perhaps, your Morphling, it's good to see them diversifying so that their opponents can't just assume it's going to be Miracle in that classic 4 Protect 1 type carry.
All right.
Diversity is the spice of life when it comes to Dota.
Predictability for teams can be very successful for a little while, but as soon as teams figure out, that's when you run into trouble. Happened with Alliance if you look like post TI3, happened with LGD if you go back to TI2, and even at TI4, I think with Team Secret, a lot of their downfall came from their predictability. And I think it was PPD who mentioned like they were very predictable, but it's not necessarily straight up a bad thing, but once you kind of know what they're going for and you kind of can understand their picks and what they're going to always pick based on what's left in the pool, it's very easy to plan your draft and knowing exactly what the other team's going to get, as opposed to going into a match against EG at DAC, you didn't know what their priorities were going to be as far as picks and bans went. With Secret, you knew 9 times out of 10 that if their Chen's in the pool, they're first picking it. If it's not, they want the Shadow Fiend. They're like their Lycan. Like, you knew exactly what heroes they were going for and what they would replace them with if they weren't available.
We're going to have a pause here from Ysera. Each team gets 10 minutes per game. It looks like 5EVA want to use theirs on bathroom breaks.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah,
they can use their 10 minutes however they want.
Taking the shit's a pretty good
reason,
If they
want to eat a snack, if they want to wash their car, you know, clip their cat's nails. I mean, really, whatever you want, it's fine. But you get 10 minutes. After that, we unpause.
Okay. So
I don't think we really needed that information. Bathroom would have been okay. Be right back would have been fine, but
overshare.
Now I have this. I have this vision, which I wasn't really looking for.
Every time he gets like a big kill or something, you're gonna be like, man, I'm just picturing this guy just took a dump and here he is getting a rampage. Like,
did he even wash his hands?
Yep.
I mean, who's gonna touch that keyboard? Ugh. All right. Well, while we have a pause here, we'll run through the lineup. CSW gonna be having 3-4-3 on your Vengeful Spirit. GoDz on the Lich. Chains taking up the Sniper. Tootie will be handling your Tide and Musica, while Wrangle that Queen of Pain. As for 5EVA, you've got Lubby on the Ancient Apparition. Ysera, the Bat Rider. You'll have Miracle on the Earthshaker. It's going to be Palasan playing the... What's that hero I'm missing? If you go to the scoreboard, you can see.
It would be the other support.
The Venge.
The Venge,
the
yeah,
Venge.
That's right.
And then that's Tribix going to be handling the Phantom Assassin.
Okay. I think likely the Phantom Assassin going to be going mid. Just Sniper or Quap, you don't really want to melee Earthshaker core mid lane versus that. So Miracle Gonna be a safe lane farmer, it seems.
Oh, sorry, did I say lobby? I mean KS, right?
Yeah.
Why didn't you correct me, dude? Come on, we're supposed to be a team here.
Don't worry, man. I'll go down with you. I made the mistake. I was like, let's just stick it out. We're gonna keep calling.
You know what would be great is if we just like we know that they corrected us and we're just like, you know what, screw you.
We'll call you.
Change your initial, then we'll have mercy.
Make your name K. Then we talk.
Then we'll talk. Then we won't even necessarily fix it, but we'll have a conversation.
It'd be cool if like their initials actually like made some cool word or something. But
I know that was the first thing I looked at.
Yeah.
I like looked down the list of initials. I started trying to rearrange them, but
these guys
they've got no vowels.
These guys are bad memers.
There's no vowels, dude. What are you gonna do with this? There's just nothing to work with here.
I'm not a fan. Even
right.
the team name especially, 5ever, like
couple precious minutes of pause time used up on a poop. But here we go. We're underway now.
You gotta poop early, sometimes you gotta poop. It happens.
There's a book I read as a kid, GoDz. You know what it's called? It's called Everybody Poops.
Alright.
Nothing's changed since that book was read to me.
You're telling me that girls poop?
Yes.
I don't believe it. That is not true. None of my girlfriends have ever pooped.
They too have bodily functions.
I don't believe that.
Okay. Well, I don't feel a need to prove it to you. I mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. So CSW
I don't know where you're going with this,
looking to control the enemy jungle. That's where I was going with this LD. They're making their way into the dire jungle, looping all the way around here, and it's a vengeful spirit with boots first. But
both teams get to scout each other out, and of course this camp. Only so many places you can really drop that ward if you can't swing around to the right.
So likely to be at least the Lich +1 top, possibly even an offensive trialing if you want to give Queen of Pain a 1v1 matchup against the Bat Rider. And we'll see 3-4-3 ready to kind of block that pull camp, which could be like a Venge Lich Tide, not really a dominant trialing, but at the end of the day you've got Dark Ritual, the sacrifice to deny a lot of XP from 5ever.
Lobby, he saw this ward get placed. Not necessarily where it is, but he sees that it's missing from 3-4-3's inventory, and already your D ward is prepped right up. So 5ever likely to get the D ward, likely to be off to a great start here. He actually thought it was in a different position, but it's a D ward off the bat nonetheless. They didn't even stick around to potentially prevent the D ward. So the Core Shaker gonna have an easier time of it here in the safe lane.
Yeah, Venge already moving towards mid lane, and I think the pull camp being dewarded is kind of a reason enough to kind of say, okay, we're maybe going to go offensive trialing, but let's not do it anymore because we're going to get denied too much XP by the pulls, and that's going to be problematic for us. So Venge is going to make her way down towards the jungle in the bottom lane, where Queen of Pain is currently 1v1 against the Bat.
Yeah, you're up against the Lich dual lane, you really need your pulls. Very important D-ward for 5ever. Else you'll probably have to just rotate one of those supports around. Can't be sitting on tri-lane and not getting your pulls off.
It is a Lich in an offlane against like a non-hard carry. Normally you think like Lich in an offlane and dual lane, good against like your Deuces, your Antimates, your Spectres, you're denying like a quarter of the farm from a hard carry, but this is an Earthshaker end of the day. It's here who wants to get some early game items up as fast as possible. Top lane, they're actually going to get a good block on 2d2's in trouble. They've got a Soul Assumption if they get enough right-click damage.
Comes out, Lich just blinking away on Miracle, but your Soul Assumption will get the first blood. Not much you can do there. Well placed. Normally it's that support Earthshaker who, swings in from the tree line, but just manages to catch him out.
Overconfidence coming out from your Tide. He's like, I'm a Tide, I've got boots, but the boots don't help you out when you get blocked in by that fissure. And good play from Pelosin to get the Soul Assumption level 1, given that extra bit of damage output too, which was much needed there with the fissure block. So good start for 5ever. They have the 1-0 lead in this best of 3, and game 2 off to a quick lead here.
Yeah, looking at the other lanes here, Sniper should have a good time here versus the PA early on. Does have to be careful about a tower dive, especially if there's a crit coming out from that dagger. That can often be go time for Chivix.
I wonder how much of not a matchup I've ever really seen or played.
You always have the dagger, so it's very hard to shut PA down in a 1v1.
Yeah, PA should get farm, and there's actually a threat for a kill from the PA onto the Sniper. Like, even before level 6 in theory, if you spam enough daggers, and the problem is Sniper doesn't like going for bottle for the HP regen. Sniper generally likes to rush boots, Aquila, get to phase boots after the Aquila. It's gone for a double Wraithband, and as a result, if you take too many dagger spams and take a lot of damage here, PA's often full HP from a bottle. I could see PA actually posing a kill threat here against the Sniper. I'm not sure this is that one-sided of a matchup.
Even if you don't get the kill and you trade farm, Sniper, one of the reasons why he's popular is to dominate the lane. We've seen it versus Shadow Fiend picks quite a bit, and well, for now he is dominating a little bit. Chibik's forced back. He's going to have to start using regen, but already boots some bottle out, so ultimately Chibik's still going to be happy with how things go. The harass starts to add up here, but he's got that 1 point in blur early on. The 1 point in headshot trying to mitigate that evasion.
Yeah, Chains has gone for a super early game build here. Double Wraithman now bringing out the Ring of Aquila. Here goes your blink in mid lane. Chibik's just kind of zoning out Chains here. Not really potential for a kill there, but this is just trying to add pressure to Chains, knowing that Chains has no HP regen, and Chains going to be forced to buy some additional tangos.
Yeah, he's going to have to buy them now. Aquila already complete, as well as that extra Wraith Band. He's even turned off the aura on the Aquila. Does not want the lane to be pushing unnecessarily, although as I say that, he is throwing down shrapnel occasionally, so it will be pushing a bit nonetheless. Looking at the offlane here for 5EVA, I haven't talked at all about this lane, but it is a Batrider offlane versus a Quap with Avenge and support. Not going to be easy for Ysera. They'll blink in, they throw out a Scream. There's no Firefly, it's on cooldown. Could be a takedown here. One more auto attack should do the trick, actually make it 2. No low ground to high ground miss from Musica. They get the kill on the offlane bat, but there are stacks brewing now. They've got a double stack here. It's going to be a triple stack over here, and no Mud Golems just yet. And meanwhile, top lane of Fissure was thrown out, but doesn't look like they can get that kill on 2D.
Yeah, Miracle, importantly, has his Arcane Boots. He can just throw those Fissures for kind of casual harass if he wants to, with the Visage follow-up damage, and not going for that full Battle Earthshaker build, despite being that safe lane farmer. Probably going to be looking to rush a Blink Dagger off of this.
Farm DS could be really scary this game. Fast Blink. Queen of Pain is not safe split pushing. Neither is the Sniper. Even if they're with their teammates, there's some heroes that you could just insta-gib.
Yep.
And on top of that, you're going to have a Batrider joining the fray, Ancient Apparition Ice Blast coming out, and the PA with her own gap closing ability from the Blink Strike. So a lot of potential here to potentially, a lot of potential to find these kills once that Blink comes out. And Miracle already 400 gold in the bank on top of the Fissure.
Yeah. So he's
the Arcane Boots, Jesus. English is a hard language.
He's going to get keep his farm at the top lane here. Stacks continue for the Batrider. Unfortunately missing that one, but it's still a triple stack for Ysera here at this camp, and that's a decent amount of farm here. Is sharing the XP with the AA, but by the time you get the Blink, you should be level 6 regardless, and they want to make sure that Ancient Apparition get a pretty good timing on his Ice Blast. You kind of talked about during the draft the Lasso with the Ice Blast being such a good synergy, and that's where they want to kind of give KS on the AA a decent amount of XP, as well as the Batrider here in the jungle.
This is a cool little combo with the Ice Vortex plus the Firefly. Just some additional magic damage coming out to help them clear these stacks a little bit easier. We'll now see him trot back towards base. Has deployed all of his mana. It'll be KS moving around towards the mid lane now. Ward's going to be dropped off for Chibix, and looks like he wants to get a high ground ward. He'll plop it down. Let's see if Chains was ready for that one. Currently, there are sentries on 343, but he's headed towards bottom.
Yeah, so CSW definitely has a lineup which was meant to be the lane dominating lineup. They've got the Lich, who's just straight up denying XP and farm from an enemy hero. They've got Queen of Pain and Sniper, 2 great lane dominators in their own right, and it feels like they haven't really got that much out of the lanes. The gold advantage is ever so slightly in 5EVA's favor, largely because of the First Blood, but that's just something that CSW have not really taken advantage of their lane dominating heroes. All 3 cores on the 5EVA side getting a lot of farm. Only 2 of the 3 lanes for CSW are they actually getting decent farm.
They are winning those lanes, the Queen of Pain and Sniper topping the CS charts, but again, it's just not an overwhelming lead by any means. Assassinate was already thrown out mid, so Chibix knows he can take a little bit of extra harass. Chains is starting to ramp up his lane control here, but we're also at that point where rotations may come soon. Batrider Blink coming in the next minute or 2. Your Earthshaker's picked up a smoke, and they've actually given this lane to Pulasim. I want to give the Visage some levels. Miracle maybe even going to transition into a semi-supportive role as the game moves along.
This is just a really dangerous mid lane for Chains. There's now a high ground ward for 5EVA, and there's no good heroes to TP in to counter gank. You haven't got that Earthshaker on your side. You've got Avenge who can Magic Missile, which is kind of okay. Lich is not a good counter ganker with a TP. So, just not good heroes until Tide hits level 6, actually TP and counter gank a dive onto the Sniper on his tower. If you dive Sniper on his tower, if you have the damage, you get that kill. They're going to go in. They're going to do just that. They get Blink in. Chains getting very low here. They don't get the kill with the TP coming in, but they force those TPs. And
actually, no, nice though. Musica with the blink scream. Now the ulti coming out. Whoa. Kaboom. Gets 2.
Nicely played.
That's what they needed.
Yeah.
They force out the 2 TPs, and if that's any hero but a hero with blink, they don't get anything out of that. But the mobility does add up, as meanwhile top lane, your familiar swinging around to the GoDz. Colossus wanted to get in range for a Grave Chill, couldn't quite.
Early level 6 on your Visage.
Yeah, they gave the lane to Miracle. Or they had it for Miracle early, then they gave it to Blossom, I should say. To give him his early farm, but it does delay the Blink Dagger a little bit. Miracle sitting on a smoke. Wonder if he's going to look to use this and rotate towards that mid lane soon. Chains is starting to pull ahead now with the rotation from the Queen of Pain.
That was some handy play there. They get the D1 on that high ground ward as well. The fact that I think they were throwing Stifling Daggers uphill was like a kind of clear giveaway for the Sniper. Sniper's just like, dude, they don't envision me. That's going to be a ward there. So they get the D ward. They get the double counter kill as well. CSW picked themselves up some important frags. And
at the same time, their Miracle popped his smoke. He swings around towards top. He's going to need some backup here. Pops an Enchant Totem, just prepping for the dive. He's even got Chilling Touch. He might be able to quickly kill GoDz himself. Never mind. Not when he gets revealed like that. Could chuck out a Fissure, but wouldn't amount to too much.
If they can get a freebie tower, it's still not bad, even with the smoke kind of not really amounting to too much.
Lasso coming out from Ysera bottom. Not sure what that's about. The tower already taken. Musica has no ulti, though. Doesn't really want to commit. Miracle forced to TP and gets nothing for this. And a big win there as that Queen of Pain going to just rotate out of the bottom lane.
Some pretty decent farm on your Queen of Pain as well. Musica going to TP towards top, and look like CSW going to go for a smoke of their own with no Ravage available just yet. We could see 2D leech XP to get that level 6, and GoDz may be able to provide that for him. But they're looking for a kill and engagement at top.
Dire Vision, they just out of range for the smoke. Now they'll get the Venge done. And KS is slated to fall. Down he goes. Quickly brought out. And I guess the question now is, can they transition this into a push? They have no points in Vengeance Sara. They're not a particularly strong pushing lineup. At the same time, 5-Eva, with no Ice Blast, aren't particularly great at defending their own towers. So whether they get it or not, they're going to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, 5-Eva are very much waiting and playing around the Batrider getting a Blink Dagger as soon as possible. He's going to have it next Firefly, it looks like. 2.1k gold. He's got a double stack here, and this will get him up to that Blink territory. But still not... Hey, it's a good timing by all means, but 5-Eva found themselves falling behind here in the early game. 5.3k net worth, Queen of Pain. Musica is looking fantastic.
The bigger they are, the harder they fall, says the Batrider. He's hoping for that. Gets the Blink Dagger that you mentioned. Smoke also purchased. And they do have really good gap closers. I feel like that's the key thing. No matter how farmed a Queen of Pain gets, until she's got some sort of defensive item, can still be brought down by a good initiate. And CSW swing around. They're applying pressure on this top lane. In the meantime, though, the Lich may end up falling. Lobbed out a Chain Frost. It bounces nicely. Quap gets 1. Quap gets 2. Well, she's big now. That's for damn sure. And in the end, your Lich ends up surviving as well.
That is huge. Lich survived. It was not even going to be worth it regardless, because it's a Lich kill. Lich's Tranquils will heal back up, can continue the push up here. This is where CSW, they start to 5-man take objectives, and Musica almost with a complete Acceptor, just needs another 950 gold. 5-Eva just not really making up for this elsewhere on the map. The laning set for them has not really panned out too well. The Earthshaker is kind of a pseudo-core sharing the farm with the Visage. Both heroes with decent farm and levels, like your level 7 Visage with a Medallion, earlier than the support Visage would normally get it. Your Earthshaker has a fast Arcanes, 1200 gold, but no big items until they get this Earthshaker Blink, which is still at least a kind of 3 or 4 minutes
It's
off.
easy to second guess, but at this point, the amount of impact each has had, you do have to wonder, would just having that Blink Dagger on Miracle be better? Because if he got the lane farm the entire time, he should have it by now. And when they go for that push, sure, it's a level 1 Echo. Level 1 Echo with follow-up still packs a punch. And they could have it from the Batrider coming in, maybe from the PA, bringing down 1 target at a time, and then forcing CSW back. But now they have the Ravage that they were lacking before, and then some. Level 8. And they swing around. Maybe Chibix can get a kill and try to turn this. Needs multiple crits. Gets a few, but not enough.
Not quite. Not just Ravage, but a Blink Dagger on 2D. This is scary stuff. CSW, well, they're definitely pulling ahead here in game number 2 after a less than impressive game 1. The last time these teams met, it was a 1-1 draw. I think it was in the MLG League, but here they are. This series is a best of 3, so there's going to be at least a winner coming out of it, even should CSW take game number 2. But right now, I think still very much in the development stage, even if CSW are with a lead.
Miracle just roaming around now. Looks like he may go for a rotation onto the bottom lane. Musica already nearly got an Aghanim Scepter complete, though. We're looking at like a 14-minute Ags at this rate. This is just brutal.
This is the kill to get. Music on a 4-0 streak, but right now Musica's running into Earthshaker, and Earthshaker has no backup anywhere nearby. Venge elsewhere on the map kills the AA. That's mid lane. And AA is still looking for that level 6. Can't get a hold of it.
That's the crazy part is, you know, this tri-lane, they give the Visage level 6. We haven't seen anything out of the familiars, really. And the AA is still lacking it. He's their big team fighter along with the Earthshaker. And it's at that point where CSW begin to group up a little bit more. 3 heroes pushing through mid, threatening the tier 1. TP will come out, but it's going to take significant damage.
So Miracle still on the move. He has not been finding farm anywhere on the map in any lanes. He's just hoping they can find one kill that will just tip him over the edge to get that Blink Dagger territory.
Oh, they want Musica bottom. They're going to jump him. They have their Echo Slam. They will need to commit everything, and even then it might not be enough. They will drop the dunk. They get the kill. May cost the Miracle, though. He's on the retreat out. Does not have enough for his own Blink Dagger. He'll fall. And meanwhile, Ysera able to retreat out, and at the same time, top PA. Diving GoDz has the Chain Frost. Yes, this is risky from Chibix, but he's going for it. Gets the crit. Needs one more dagger. The jukes. The jukes. The jukes. I don't know if he's even going to get the vision. Still forming his way through the trees. Now the TP out dagger. Just in time gets the kill. They're still chasing this Batrider, by the way. Ysera still surviving.
Where you going, Ysera? He's gets out of there. The Ice Blast actually coming from his teammate there. I think GoDz
was trying to kill the Lich in base, I think. Yeah. If he TP's out.
GoDz could have just kept on juking around those trees for days if he really wanted to. Mid lane. Okay, yes.
He got level 6, though, so yeah, it's okay.
Down he goes.
Acceptable death.
The big kill, though, coming out of Musica. Slows down his Ag Scepter a little bit, but just a lot of good gold, and a streak ended by 5-Ever. Miracle dies immediately in response, so he didn't actually get the kill. He just got the assist there with Batrider picking up the kill for a Bat up to 1,900 gold practically with the Blink picked up.
Particularly got a 4 stat from that kill. I mean, not the whole amount of gold, but
yeah,
a gigantic chunk of it.
Much earlier than you'd normally get your 4 star following that Blink, especially if you're focusing more on ganking and moving around the map. But we'll see what the next move for 5-0 is going to be. Looks like Miracle now going to take the time to jungle it up, get some CS, get the rest of the money he needs for his Blink Dagger, as he has definitely fallen behind, level-wise as well as farm-wise.
Still, the map control is shrinking a little bit here for 5-Ever. They've lost their bottom tier 1 as well as the top, and on top of that, this aggressive pair of Observer Wards get plopped down in their woods. Then, insult to injury, the tier 1 denied top the wrong way as a Fissure comes out. Too late! Assassinate will end him. Hero Shaker down again, an Ice Blast coming in mid, but Musica just going to skirt away. They are on the smoke gods, but you can't really smoke gank into these heroes. Not with Ravage online, and certainly not with Chain Frost to worry about.
I just don't see it working. As long as Tide's there and has that Blink Dagger up, you can't lasso him. He's going to get the Kraken off, and if you go on someone else, the Tide's blinking in with that Ravage. You've got to find a hero who's off on their own and isolate them with the Batrider, which just doesn't exist right now. Good play from CSW, sticking together, recognizing that the one threat they have is that pick-off potential. Musica gets the bottom room, which is potentially a bit of a risk for him, but he's back with his team now, working on this tier 2 mid.
Right now it feels like 5-Ever are very weak against 5-man aggression. CSW just going to push down mid as 5, and sure, you've got Ice Blast, you have no blink on Earthshaker, even if he gets it. It is only the level 1 Echo. And at this stage of the game, with an Urn up on Venge, a Buckler, and perhaps soon a mech coming out, on your Lich, the Ag's complete on the Queen of Pain, as you mentioned, 2,500 gold on Chains, he'll get something soon. These heroes are just getting levels and farm to the point where they're not going to die to that combo, most likely. So they'll avoid fights for now. They'll send Chibix bottom, work on the tier 1, leave the AA off on the sidelines as he can get a better initiation towards mid with this Ice Blast, but Chibix has to be careful. The Queen of Pain I did not think that was going to hit him. The visual animation is here, but
get the swap
he ends up making the kill happen regardless.
This poor AA, he's going for some, I don't know, some new age Urn of Shadows build or something. The triple gauntlet. I don't know what this is.
The Bracer Dota.
The Bracer Dota. Yeah, let's just get the gauntlets to start things off.
You know, this is what he gets for not having the right initial. If that's a K, He's never put in this position, GoDz.
He would have his Ag.
He would have a completed Ags if that initial was a K.
17 minutes, easy Ags, you know.
Serves him right.
Would gift him
don't
one.
even feel bad for him at all.
Yep. Well, we're going to see a smoke coming out of CSW. They're going to be running
They
right
saw
into
Miracle. He doesn't have Blink yet. Needs to echo these creeps and buy it immediately. Miracle, no!
Oh,
Delayed by
20 gold short.
300.
I was so close to it as well. That is crippling for 5EVER. They're just taking tower losses, taking hero losses. 12 kills to 3. Got a 7-8k gold lead. Game 1, very one-sided, going the Singaporean team's way. Game 2, it's the other direction. CSW with a convincing lead at just 18 minutes in. I'm not seeing that racks being claimed as early as as 5EVER were doing in Game 1, but it's still almost just as dominant.
It even looks like... Oh, nice familiar stuns mid. 2 heroes slowed down by those stuns. You know, it almost looks like GoDz is just rushing a BKB with this Ogre Club, and I'm not sure how good BKB is this game. Sniper with long-range auto attacks. You've got still the Queen of Pain ultimate to worry about, and that's level 2 already. Well, they will kidnap one, though. They'll bring GoDz out of position. Nice lasso there from Ysera. Gets the kill. And that will thwart the push for now. In the meantime, bottom, GoDz going after 343, but coming in as the Queen of Pain. They're going to turn. Venge, no stun for 3. Blink out is their vision from the Radiant. No, too late. And now the ulti's on cooldown.
Okay. That's to pick off 5EVER's way, and they get out. Don't take casualties. Got a tower as well, the PA. So PA suddenly getting closer and closer to the BKB. It's still not... the BKB definitely not ideal, but it's still essential at some point to get a BKB against the Tide Ultimate, the Chain Frost, the Venge Stun.
It's
like,
more just getting as your first.
Yeah, this...
It could work out, but it's just a sign of their position that she feels like she has to go for this.
He tried to get a pick off at bottom lane onto Musica as well with a very aggressive deep smoke there. Ysera was smoking and fireflying right up to that T2 bottom tower. Doesn't find the pick off. We'll find it mid lane instead.
He's got Chain Frost. Will he get it off this time? Swap back towards safety. He can come back in for the Ice Blast. Connects on 2, but not before Ysera loses almost all his health to the Sniper's auto attacks. Retreats out. Gush cooling down. Ysera unable to blink out in time. Anchor Smash will end him. A 2-0. Nicely done.
Yeah, nice swap there coming out from your Vengeful Spirit. 3-4-3. On point. He's 2-0-7. He's had a fantastic game in that support role. And CSW are kind of poised to take some more towers, to take Roshan when they're ready. They've got some good minus armor with Gush, the Wave of Terror, the right click from the Sniper. And Musica playing very defensive with his item build. Starts with the Ag Scepter, kind of a
semi-defensive item.
The BKB after this is very, very defensive. He's going to have a lot of HP, a lot of stats, and the magic immunity, the survivability that the BKB brings, which feels like it fits fine. Chains as well going for a BKB. Has it completed back at base there? It's kind of the safe option just to go for these defensive items. You're not going to have quite the firepower or be able to end the game as fast as we saw 5EVER do last game, but it's it kind of limits the comeback potential of 5EVER's lineup.
Yeah, who's going to do the damage at this point? You've got a PA and Visage who have a BKB complete and a Staff of Wizardry. Nowhere near the Aghanim Scepter at 21 minutes. This is a lineup that is all about the magic damage. So you get these BKBs and good luck killing anyone.
Sneaky, sneaky. Into the Roshan pit we go. CSW, not really in the neighborhood. Looks like this will be an uncontested Roshan, at least for the time being. Nothing's really changing on the CSW squad. They're split around the map, getting their farm. And 5EVER see Chain top lane just hitting away a creep wave, so they know they're completely safe in taking this Rosh.
Looks like they may make their rotation towards the pit now. They're starting to get a little suspicious, only seeing the Ancient Apparition bottom, but it's already too late. GoDz will grab that Aegis. This could be the comeback mechanic here, as an Ice Blast will zone 3-4-3 back a little bit. Seems CSW may group up mid and push anyway. They're at least heading that direction.
They're like,
nice Aegis, guys. We've got items.
Aegis, Magus, PA.
You can have 2 of your crappy lives. We'll have 1 of our very good ones.
Yep. So they're still grouped around this mid lane, and no mech yet for GoDz, which is probably one of the main items left that they want to complete before they really try and end the game. But they're going to smoke up regardless, try to find a pick off here, and see Sierra on the bat. Blink out just in time towards the Roshan pit even. Nice.
If Tudia was just if they were, those two heroes are a little bit closer, like Bat here and maybe PA here, they get potentially a 2-hero Ravage. But good reactions. Keeping 5 Eva in this game is CSW going to back out for the moment. And without this Aegis, it does feel like CSW would be confidently pushing down the bottom lane or maybe top and going for those 2 remaining outer towers. But instead, they will back off, get that mech you mentioned on GoDz complete, and just try and wait it out. They still have a strong lineup moving forward. They'll have the double Ravage, Sniper. Generally an excellent carry. Is a bit vulnerable to this Batrider, PA, Earthshaker trio in terms of long-range initiation and good jumping power, but they have Avenge to keep them safe.
Yeah, Avenge needs to come up big. And 343 pretty close to level 11. He's just 10 XP from level 10, and getting level 11 is pretty easy because of the just 600 XP you need to get to that level 11. So he'll be level 11 in no time at all. And level 2 swap, Queen of Pain about to have a BKB, has the money for it after this creep wave. So CSW probably weren't even ready to end the game regardless, or even like try and take objectives. And then when they see the Aegis, they're like, well, just another reason to stall things out and not try and take fights. So 3 more minutes on the Aegis, and CSW probably will be looking to take a fight in some ways before then with all their items they've just picked up. They're not really kind of gaining big headway as far as big items go. The Sniper probably the one hero who can kind of really develop as a big late gamer, but Queen of Pain, BKB Acceptor, ready to fight. Similar story for your Tide, who's got Blink 4 Staff, your Avenge, who's about to hit level 11. They're ready to go.
All right, well, they'll want to probably wait out the Aegis at this point. 2.5 minutes to go, which will give Chibix time to maybe get that first item up to after the BKB, up to 1,500 gold. The Earthshaker of Miracle snags an Ogre Club. We'll see what the choice is here for him. BKB is a possibility. Ags is a possibility, though we don't see it too often from Earthshakers. Outside of that, it's going to be Chaos closing in on his own Ags, gets the Ogre Club, basically has the second component now. And outside of that, not a whole lot to write home about. Well, I guess the Visage also about halfway to his Ags. But they want to make a go on chains here. Miracle and Chibix thinking if he goes one more wave, we may try and jump our way in, but there's going to be a ward planted down and potential reinforcements from Tootie heading that way.
Yeah, it feels like any engagement 5 ever take is always going to be just plagued by potential risk and turnaround, which for now, 5 ever going to just play the farming game. Miracle has an Ogre Club, will be working on what looks to be BKB. Chibix, he's just holding on to a bit of gold for the time being. The accept you mentioned on Pelosin, hopefully coming up in a timely fashion, but it doesn't feel like the farming game is going to favor them for now, with CSW able to just wait out the Aegis and then probably look to take some objectives.
Yeah, they're not really close to any more items. At this point, you pretty much have everything you want. Sniper MKB could be the one thing they wait for, but even then, you're waiting 2,400 gold as they'll jump Ysera bottom lane. He's already used Force Staff, has no Blink Dagger available. It's being cancelled. The Firefly forward, but that Queen of Pain all over the top. Then a Blink Scream. Musica will get the kill, and that's a 40-second cooldown ultimate at this point. Happy to throw it to snag a frag. Still, the rest of 5 Eva making use of this time. They'll farm the top lane. They'll farm their Ancients. It is a kill on the Batrider, but he's already got his big items. Not really the biggest loss for 5 Eva.
Yeah, worth taking for CSW, especially since they're not looking to push with the Aegis still in line. But yeah, like you say, 5 Eva not going to be hurt too bad by that.
The graph like just slightly winks upwards off of that kill.
It has stabilized around that kind of 8k gold lead for CSW. It was kind of constantly rising for a long time, but since then, 5 Eva get the Aegis. They buy themselves a window to kind of get their next level of items up, and are at least holding on here in game number 2. But I'm going to imagine CSW are going to be ready to take the fight to 5 Eva fairly soon. Well, things here in game 2 about winner bracket match. Not exactly going to plan for 5 Eva, but they have got that 1-0 cushion as far as this series is concerned.
I still feel they are pretty scary late game. Sure, they're down right now, but going high ground against 5 Eva is very difficult. AA, Earthshaker, kings of defending the high ground, and Chibix going to have to blink away here. He'll be forced to pop a BKB, but they are chasing him. They have that swap. They'll use it. He'll have another blink ready soon, and backup is coming. Uh-oh, they may overextend here. No, sorry. Chibix will blink away. But yeah, you're going high ground against Bat Rider, against the AA Earthshaker duo. It's risky for CSW, and that's probably why they're not forcing it yet.
That's their 10-second BKB. And just whittling away at those charges over time is going to be something where CSW take this game, late game, if it is somehow this game does drag to 45+ minutes in, PA's BKB being down to 5 seconds is going to be very problematic if you're against a Tide with a Refresher Orb.
Yeah, very, very difficult indeed.
Just Venge Stuns, Chain Frost, you're blinking into that Chain Frost a lot of the time, so...
That's where the PA is not, like, it's not a 1v5 game. You need a Bat Rider Lasso to set things up, you follow up with the big Echo Slam AA Ice Blast, and PA maybe even just sits back and waits to clean up at that point.
You kind of talked about also the BKB first not really being a natural PM, especially against a Lich here. You've got level 3 Frost armor, Ice Armor coming into play. This PA is not doing a lot of damage to anyone who has an Ice Armor on them because of this item build. CSW now ready to start applying the pressure up top. They've got 5 heroes up here, sieging away at the tier 2 tower, and...
Gonna have that MKB soon with Sniper. He's getting big.
Yeah, he's hitting hard. Not just him, but the Queen of Pain as well. We see another item coming Musica's way in good fashion as well. And this trade is not even really a trade. 5EVA got the tier 1 tower low, but there's too many good initiators from the CSW side with the Blink Ravage, with the swap, that they're kind of very scared to even really pressure this mid tier 1 tower.
Well, they're just farming wherever they can, GoDz. Earthshaker off in the Radiant Woods. Miracle gonna blink himself into the trees. Rather awkward position as an Ice Blast will come in. Chibix does force out the Glyph. Now takes a Scream. Is he really thinking about a go here? There's way too many heroes in range. He'll have to back off. BKB's come out for both. No crits. Now tanks an Assassinate. Chibix, where you going, my friend? Tootie's there with the Anchor Smash. He'll blink out. It's going to be Chaos sacrificing himself for the greater good. And he will sacrifice. Meanwhile, Miracle's like, yeah, I'm just going to hit creeps.
And behind enemy lines, typical Miracle Dota. He may not be playing a Naga Siren, but he's playing as if he's the Naga Siren. Like, let's just farm in the most dangerous place possible, but where they'll never find me. Try and get some creep skipping going on, take farm away from the enemy. Some kind of Naga Siren-esque plays as far as the mentality that goes into farming that deep enemy jungle camp. But
yeah, but you're farming a BKB on an Earthshaker.
Yes, very different hero as far as concept
This
goes.
is not a game-winning item. It may help them win a fight, but it's not the item that does it.
So, CSW playing things kind of slow-paced here, not really looking to time the noose too much on 5EVA. Something they're kind of, I guess, known for if you go back to some of their past rosters, and sometimes something that would kind of bite them in the ass is that they would play things a bit too slow and safe and give teams a chance to get back in the game and not really apply enough pressure when they get a bit of a lead here. It feels like it's okay for now in this game, but if it keeps going on this way, 5EVA will get some big item pickups. If Bat keeps finding some pickoffs here or there, suddenly you've got yourself a much more even game.
It has slowed down a lot. We saw the majority of our Radiant kills before the 23-minute mark, and it's now been another 10 minutes. There's been 4 kills going their way. They are getting the better overall when it comes to golden experience, but as you mentioned, GoDz, it's really stabilized. And if you imagine the tower score being equalized, all of a sudden that's at least a 5k gold lead, if not less. Or sorry, at most for CSW, at least for 5EVA, they've closed it down to only 5k.
It just feels like 5EVA getting some pretty decent items coming their way. Like, you give it another 4 or 5 minutes, AA has an Ag Scepter, your Earthshaker's BKB is just about to be picked up.
The Visage Ags is up already.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that fast, but it is up, I guess is the point.
CSW, though, their carries are looking good. You've got Chains, who's got an MKB, Musica, who's picked up a Mystic Staff, so a Shivers or a possible Scythe of Vice will be coming up soon. So the carries are farming well, but it's almost like 5EVA just getting more than they should be getting given here. So
there's definitely no sense of urgency right now. CSW are just happy to sit back and farm. They're parading around their woods as 4 heroes, constantly being spotted out.
And should there be sense of urgency? It's like,
this game could go either way late game.
Yeah.
CSW could get the big double Ravage with a Chain Frost. Sniper could just not get jumped and kill everyone. Or maybe they lasso that Sniper off the bat and he just dies and the fight's over. You know, maybe you get your big Echo Slam Ice Blast combination. I feel like it's It's all just down to execution.
I agree. I think it goes either way in the late game. CSW will have the slight edge in the late game because they've got the farm lead, so naturally they'll have slightly more items, but an 8k gold lead now versus an 8k gold lead at 60 minutes has a huge difference in, because that's where 60 minutes in, that means both teams have a lot of kind of big tier 4 items. At this stage of the game, 8k gold lead is a lot more important than 20, 30 minutes from now. So it seems they're just trading evenly on farms, so effectively their lead at this stage of the game is getting smaller and smaller, even if it's not changing in terms of complete net worth.
The ratio is getting closer and closer to 1-to-1.
Yeah.
And not to mention, there's still towers to be claimed for 5-Eva. They'll grab 1 now mid. And that's 1 down, 3 to go to fully clear out the outer towers, and only 2 to go to even the score. CSW starting to feel like they need to make a move. They smoke up 2 cliffs and swing towards the bottom lane. They probably want to drop this ward if they can. But up against the Batrider, if he ever grabs a gem, that will be swiftly dewarded. Speaking of which, a little surprised he hasn't even gone for one yet, but...
Yeah, seems...
Uh-oh. We're going to have 2 smokes clash. CSW may be in position here. They start with the Echo. Chains get swapped out, but then the Fissure comes through. The Ice Blast off the bat. Chains will just get shred by Miracle, who does pop his BKB. May fall on the way out, though. The Chains Frost to bouncing. Looks like Polosin will be absolutely fine. 2 heroes down. Now the Tide to fall as well. Gem snagged by your PA. What the hell is that dagger? Look at the range on that thing. It'll be 4 dead. 5-Eva with 1 big swing of that totem. Make it at least an even game.
Dang.
If not their game, because they're about to grab the Roshan here. They may even take a tier 2 as well.
Yeah, all of a sudden, 5-Eva just had triple BKB. The Bat had just picked up a fresh BKB. They can all engage in, not having to worry about the Tide. You've got physical damage from a sniper, you've got Queen of Pain Sonic Wave, but once you have your BKBs, your game plan is simple. You jump the sniper, take his physical damage out of the picture, and then suddenly, CSW can't really fight you with your BKBs on, because Sniper is forced to play defensive and run away, and or just he dies, as he did in that fight, and then there's no answer to the BKBs. The Sonic Wave is just not enough damage on its own without supplementary damage.
I don't believe they even used the lasso in that fight. They just won without it. That's not a good sign. Oh yeah, casual Abyssal Blade. Remember when this PA had nothing but a BKB? Now an Abyssal and an Aegis. And it is only 1 big item. Like, he rushes the Abyssal right away. Doesn't get any sort of, mid-type item like a Sanjin Yasha or, even picking up that, potentially that MKB. But once the Daedalus is complete, the potential to just one-shot a sniper is there. 1150 crits. He's got 8 armor. You have a medallion. He basically has 0 armor if there's no frost armor on him. Either way, he's at least down to half health or less, and very quickly dies to any follow-up. Yeah. And that's without a lasso as well. And that was with a swap. They swapped the sniper back, but Chase just continues. He never got to pop his BKB until the very end of the fight, and Chains, it seems like, just doesn't want to have to rely on his teammates. He's going to pick up that Shadow Amulet, work his way towards a Shadow Blade.
Yeah, PA, one of the better heroes as far as dealing with the Vengeful Spirit swap saves, because you can just got that short cooldown Blink Phantom Strike to keep on chasing them when they get swapped out. You keep Vision with the Stifling Dagger if you're using that, so pretty good hero to have against Sniper as far as closing the gap, and even the Vengeful Spirit as far as not getting countered by a swap save onto a core hero. But
GoDz, this does go back to just waiting too long. CSW, they have Sniper. They have a really good high ground siege lineup. You are up against Batrider, but you have your swap to cancel that lasso. You have a Tidehunter who could be in the front lines to counter-initiate. They let them get all the BKBs, and it just takes 1 fight to swing the game around. It really does feel like CSW had momentum. Maybe they don't end the game with the push, but they at least force 5-Eva to defend rather than ratting. You don't get to see Miracle just farming these creeps. PA and Batrider getting a lot off elsewhere on the map, but with 1 fight, it's become, technically speaking, 5-Eva's game when it comes to the stats.
Yeah, absolutely agree. We've seen Miracle in position top lane to strike, but on his own.
Oh, Miracle, this is not the time.
A lot of CSW heroes headed his way.
I'm just going to take this opportunity to dodge some fights. Ysera confidently moves down the bottom lane. Now he farms the enemy jungle. They're almost... Also, that was before the AA gets his Ags.
Probably not dodging for too long. They'll want to fight around the Aegis. At the same time, CSW aren't going to look to push high ground when there's a PA with an Aegis in the game, but they're going to look to keep lanes pushed out. You talk about gems, and I feel like gem pickups are going to be the kind of the next big step for the 2 teams. Ancient Apparition has one for the Dire side. The Radiant side yet to pick up a gem of their own, but...
Well, that was 2D's gem.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that was 2D's gem. So, no gem available for the...
I'm actually surprised they're not giving it to the bat, but, you know, either way, it's still good to have it. And suddenly CSW, the team that's playing defense, sitting back, watching 5EVA march all over their side of the map. Home of the Dominator now up in Shivix, but, I mean, to me, it's the Visage and the AA. These are the bigger worries. AC nearly complete on the Visage, and I think crucially, that Ancient Apparition Ice Blast about to become an Aghanim's Ice Blast, and up against a Sniper. I don't really think you need to prevent his lifesteal, but it's just a nice bonus that if that ever hits him, he's just done fighting. Ice Blast hits him, he's just running away.
And the Shadow Blade for Sniper is kind of gimmicky, but not in the sense that it's just like it's a gimmick that's not going to work. It could be pretty useful, especially against the PA, but...
It could be, but in theory this bat should be carrying a gem. I'm not sure why they're not giving it to you, Sarah.
By the way, Sonic Wave just destroys familiars. That was something which never even kind of occurred to me, but he just insta-KO'd the entire familiars with a Sonic Wave.
I did not realize that.
Pure damage.
I guess, yeah, it goes through magic immunity. So.
600 damage at max... Scepter damage? No, it's 575. So he now has... I think he just hit level 16, so this is his first level 3 familiars. Because he insta-KO'd all 3 familiars. They must have been level 2 familiars.
Even then, you're probably getting at least 1 or 2 if you just get some auto attacks off.
If they've taken any damage from a creep wave or just right clicks. That is a good hero counter as far as familiars are concerned. Not like Visage is particularly strong.
I don't know if you want to pick Quap as like your, what was it, the third pick? I don't know if you want to be third picking Quap to counter Visage support, but it is a nice interaction nonetheless. Definitely a new one as well, not something that has come into play up until very recently.
5EVA group near bottom lane. A Poppy Invis on the PA. Still, okay, no time at all on this Aegis, so if a fight breaks out, it's going to be with Aegis expiring pretty
There
much
are no
instantly.
solutions, though, to this BKB from the PA, aside from right clicks. One way to dodge that PA is just to hide. I'm going to just hug this tower for all it's worth. Don't leave me. And finally, they have given Ysera the gem.
Yep.
That was long overdue.
Yeah, they should, with gem on their side, they should be able to get good map control up and find pickoffs using the fact they have the vision advantage, but easier said than done. They may have the Batrider, they may have the gem. It's not really a guaranteed. CSW can look to maneuver around that, probably look for a smoke gank fairly soon. I feel like that's one of their main big plays to make right now, with a lot of their map control lost, and it is back to a zero-sum game with net worth dead even between the two teams. That is a concern for CSW.
You know, we've been talking a lot about 5EVA. What does CSW have coming? Tidehunter is not rushing that refresher. It looks like he's going to maybe pick up a Hex here. I suppose he could have started towards refresher build and then decided he needs a Hex. Could be going for a Shiva's instead. I'm not sure what the item order was here, but either way, he'll have something soon, but it's not your bread and butter Tidehunter by any means. Shiva's was completed on Musica. He's now the leader in net worth for the Radiant. 3,700 gold. Could get an MKB of his own if he wants it. Maybe he gets a Hex as well.
It sounds pretty good. Yeah, I think the Hex or MKB, I almost feel like favored towards the MKB to be a secondary carry, but either works. But
I feel like the key thing here is like we're not talking about support items. They're getting nothing on these Radiant supports.
Yeah. That's really been the big separation between the two teams, is that 5EVA just have much better farm distribution. As farmed as Musica is, he's top of the net worth, but 5EVA across the board have an AC on one of their support heroes in the Visage. I guess he kind of shared the lane with the Earthshaker, but then you look at the Earthshaker, he's got BKB 4-star Blink, so those two heroes both essentially cause it based on how much farm they're getting. On the Radiant side, there's two true hard support in Lich as well as Venge. Both these heroes are going to be just about the swap save for the Venge, the Lich with the Ice Armor, and the mech, whatever it may be in the late game. So these are going to be true late game supports, whereas 5EVA, Visage as well as Earthshaker are going to be offering a lot more damage output and just more overall utility in a late game scenario. Well,
42 minutes in, it has been a very slow and quiet mid to late game. We've seen 1, 2, 3, 4. We've seen like 10 kills.
All those dots are just like the first 25 minutes of the game. After 25 minutes, it's been like, yeah, let's all go to sleep.
Yeah, about 20 minutes of resident sleeper here.
Miracle don't need no Naga Siren to put people to sleep, apparently.
Shots fired.
Well, things are looking good for 5F. I don't blame them. Playing this style is working for them. They come back from a big deficit. They're looking pretty solid here.
I felt like both teams have good late game, but I'm starting to feel like 5Eva just have the better late game. They've got the easier initiation, the quicker burst damage overall, the more difficult to kill carry in general. Sure, you have MKB to go through the PA's evasion, but you have no way to lock her down with this BKB going off. Maybe the Hex can be the game changer.
And if PA gets on you, you're in trouble too. Like PA blinks on you,
sniper starts hitting
you,
you just maybe have to jump away.
Yep.
But this Hex could change it. Never count out a blink Hex. That is an item that can just win games. Still, I feel like if it's a game that's played equally well by both teams, right now it seems like 5Eva, they have 5 relevant heroes. CSW starting to feel like they have 3.
Well, see how things develop from here. Next Roshan coming up very soon, and it is the dire side with huge map control advantage here. There is some good radiant vision around the map. Bit of an odd ward near the top river, but they've got the lane. Trying to plant these obscure wards that won't get dewarded by a gem, which is what has led them to using these kind of bizarre ward spots. But they're in perfect position to take this 44-minute Roshan.
They're going to farm up the woods here. 5Eva continuing to maintain map control. They still have those good aggressive wards. We have not seen a new gem on the Radiant team. That gem has been firmly in 5Eva's hands for quite some time now. Man, there will be a smoke, though. Roche has respawned, and they may be worried, CSW, that this one's being taken right now.
PA no buyback has just bought a fresh Satanic, though. So 2.5k HP. As long as you get that BKB up before you get stunned by a Tide Ravage and you don't get blown up, and Hex as well as there for the initiation, then PA will be just fine. As far as defensive capabilities go, there's like a Fissure, there's a Flame Break. There are some good crowd control spells as well to play around with. And CSW, their burst damage is just not as bursty as it once was. You get up to 2.5k HP. Sonic Wave is only taking away a fifth of that at this stage of the game. So you're looking better and better just by getting the raw HP, giving you good time to actually get off that Satanic to start lifestealing up.
Yeah, there's no AA on CSW. This PA will be lifestealing.
And just one of the better Satanic heroes, because you don't really get kited because you've got the Blink Strike. So you pop your Satanic, unless you get stunned immediately, there's a very good chance you're healing back up to near full HP.
And that will probably cause CSW to waste a bunch of spells. It's all about the Hex. They get the Hex off from PA, good chance they get the kill. Else, pretty much no way.
So Visage split pushing top with the Familiars as the rest of the team going to look to engage near the Radiant jungle.
They have eyes here. GoDz going to take the debuff and sticks around. He'll be lassoed, pulled back in. Do they want to jump him? Not really with the PA. They're worried about some counter initiation though. Get the kill from distance, but don't commit the full squad. Now they walk into the Roche pit.
Yeah, Roche. Someone has to defend top, otherwise it's a tower going down as well as the pickoff. Anything? Blinks forward. Sonic Wave? There's your resummon.
That is really good against Visage.
Yeah. Just right-click each one once, and then there you go. Easy 300 gold. So Aegis and Cheese. PA with the Aegis. Well, going through 2.5k HP once, you're going to have to do it twice. Cheese picked up by your Earthshaker. Okay, it's going Refresher too. This will be fun.
This is such a game-changing item.
Double slams coming into play.
Level 3 ulti. They have the Ice Blast already. Closing in on the level 3 ulti there.
Suddenly it's 5Eva's game to lose.
It gets to this point in the game, GoDz, and we can talk about the strength of each team if they get their combo, but who's more likely to get their combo? You have to say 5Eva. With better map control, the Familiars are split push, and they have the gem on the bat. They have the easier initiation overall. They've got, I think, just more reliable team fight because you can't really BKB dodge what's coming your way. Maybe Sniper can, but that's it. Nobody else has a BKB on CSW. Whereas you look at 5Eva, there's 3 heroes with it. So many ways for 5Eva to win a fight, and I feel like for CSW, there's very few.
Yeah. They have to execute so well and burst down some of these core heroes right off the bat. I mean, and what is a core hero? At this point, the Visage with an AC, Ags, and he's working towards a Scythe of Ice. He's a top priority kill. The Earthshaker is. The Batrider is. The PA is. Pretty much everyone apart from the AA is a hero you want to try and burst down as fast as possible in a team fight. But there's just too many targets that you need to go for if you're CSW. And this Scythe of Ice on 2D is nice and all, but it's not like there's one hero that you really have to kill. That's like, you hex this guy, you win the fight. The PA is kind of who you build the hex for to get rid of the evasion, but that's not going to win you a fight just taking the PA out for 3 or 4
look
seconds.
at this Visage. He's got now an ultimate orb. He's building his own hex.
Yep.
PA's more of like a... Sure, she may end up killing 3-4 heroes, but in terms of how they win a fight, PA really is just their frontline tank. Just BKBs, jumps in, soaks up a bunch of damage, and in the meantime, the Earthshaker waits for a good double echo, and which is coming soon. Doesn't have it just yet. Even the single echo, the Ice Blast, that should be enough.
Yeah, very, very soon here. So 5ever going to be feeling pretty comfortable at this game. The longer it goes, I think they're still looking better and better. That's the thing. CSW had their 8k gold lead for a long time. When they first got it, it's like, they're in a good position. They just have to keep the pressure up, take objectives, and try and chip away at high ground using the power of the sniper and just the threat of a Blink Ravage, but they just played back too much, and it never looked like, okay, they're delaying the game, but they have the better late game. With 5ever, it's like, okay, if they don't end the game now, if this game, even with this Aegis and Cheese, if they don't take a Rax, it still feels like they're fine. They're in the better position if this game keeps on dragging just because of their lineup. Whereas CSW, they've got, I don't know, they've got 2 supports who are definitely not building towards late game items.
Well, it is dragging. 26 kills at 49 minutes. We've had 1, and it's not even a kill. It's a tower takedown in the past 15.
Yeah.
After the bloodbath that Mineski brought us yesterday, this has been slow and painful.
A change of pace here in the SCA region.
That's the nice candy-coated finish.
You got to experience all kinds of Dota, you know?
You know, if this were a Chinese Dota game, I didn't come prepared. I came prepared for blood.
Right.
But then again, you should look at the game and just see there's Miracle in the game. And default assumption is he'll be playing like a Naga or something along those lines in Turtle all game, but it's actually not. It's Miracle just playing that support Earthshakers. Well, core / support. I suppose he could be either at this point.
Yeah. It's some good old-fashioned communism going on the 5ever side. Everyone gets a piece of the pie. And luckily, it's a fairly wealthy nation right now for 5ever. Musica will TP out. Nice Plus scouts him out, but too late to do anything about it. And picks up an MKB for himself, holding onto the buyback money as well as this.
It's so problematic that 2 of their biggest items, these double MKBs, deal with a hero that is really not the only threat by any means.
Just looking at what Chibix has done this game, he's been involved in 5 of the 9 kills. That's still more than 50%, but
this is not a game that's about kills though. Like, kills are only a small piece of the picture. I
guess a day's going to come where 5ever are pushing your racks and you need to be able to kill the PA. You're going to have to kill them at some point if you want to hold onto your racks or take a racks on the other side of the map, and that's where MKB is just a must.
Yeah, you have to get it, but it's more like it's not a 4 protect 1 game.
Yeah.
It's not a game where you get the MKB, you kill the PA, you win the game.
Sniper with a lot of right-click damage himself. If he can complete a Daedalus on top of this MKB of his, he can actually bring down someone like Chibix on the PA very quickly, which is not over yet for CSW. Sniper in a 6-slotted state with that range advantage could maybe overcome someone like a PA.
They swap that PA and does get hexed right as the Aegis sets. Perfect timing. They will lose 3-4-3 off the bat. Ravage comes through. Miracle has BKB, has Cheese. Can he pop it in time? Gets up the BKB. The forced F ×2 to keep him alive. He doesn't choose to Cheese. In the meantime, Palasan trying to engage. What a disastrous push from 5ever. Perfect timing from CSW the second that Aegis expires. In they go. And now they're chasing Ysera. Musica unfortunately caught in the trees.
That is just so damn nice. Like, the exact second the Aegis...
That is just a massive outplay. That was, like, literally the exact second.
And the fact they engaged in on top of it, you know CSW have they planned that moment out precisely. They
probably planned it out 4 minutes ago.
Yeah, they're like, okay, guys, we're in a bit of trouble here. We can't just sit back. This is not working. Let's make a play happen, and the timing's going to be the exact second that Aegis wears off. Let's catch him by surprise.
As good as it was... I wonder if they can actually push high ground now, though. Echo Slam was not used, crucially. Miracle didn't even pop the cheese. He just waddled away. Did the math, realize there was nothing left to chase him. Musica maybe could have, but chose to go for the other kills.
So buybacks available as well on the dive side.
I don't think they're going to have to use any.
Yeah, not going to need to.
They also, it looks like, picked up another gem. Oh, no, this is still the gem they got from earlier. It's CSW who bought another. But GoDz, that was a big hold from CSW.
Yep. So it seems this is not a game where Aegis is going to be like a huge high impact item, just because the amount of damage where if you kill that hero once, unless they've got the rest of the team still around them alive to take that fight, that hero is dying twice. You've got so much burst damage to bring down a PA. Even the PA has gone pure survivability with this BKB. Satanic now picks up an ultimate orb. Will get brought down very quickly by the MKB right click from your sniper, the Queen of Pain, and the Hex on the Tide.
I wonder what this item is.
Probably a Lincoln's, I want to say.
What do you... I guess the swap. That's the big thing. The swap maybe the Hex.
Yeah, swap Hex.
Yeah, okay. I could see that.
It's
normally it's kind of odd to see the Lincolns picked up the slate, but oh man, not just one. It looks like they may go even double Lincolns here. For now, the Lincolns familiars.
Yeah, late game Lincolns can be very good when you're kind of relying around like a Blink Hex engagement to find a pick-off. It just gives that PA a bit more freedom to be actually on the front lines. Like if you're trying to siege high ground, you want your PA on the front lines, you can't have her able to get just burst down instantly. Unless you have some protection, but they don't have that defensive support. As much as CSW supports aren't scaling that well to the late game item-wise, swap, any stage of the game, an amazing spell.
Unless you got double Lincolns.
Yeah.
Then
well, you've got the defensive swap in that, I guess, in that
true.
sense. So it's like, it's something that 5 wish. If they had a defensive swap, they wouldn't need to build these Lincolns as much, but it's CSW who have a bit more versatility with how they can itemize, and they're going to smoke up now. Not heading the correct direction if they want to try and pick a fight. But
7 buybacks on the field. 3 for the Dire, 4 for the Radiant. And they're going to... Oh, are they really going to try to come up this hill? They're painting. They even suspect that someone's here. They drop their Observer Ward, and they may walk into Palasa, and his flock of familiars are here. Now the Blink. Initially, the Lincoln Sphere broken. Now they follow this one up. Ice Blast coming in. The Lasso Musica, but where's he being pulled to? There's nobody here to actually do anything to him during this time. Is the rest of CSW just going to walk away? That was awkward. And Roshan not up yet, but it is respawning very soon.
Yeah, very soon indeed. And if I've ever had their lineup nearby, but I don't think this is particularly an engagement they want to take. Queen of Pain and Sniper's BKB on cooldown, but we'll see those BKBs.
It's very odd to see CSW getting the jump here twice now.
Against
up against a Bat?
Yeah, it should be Bat getting every single time, it feels like. But Bat's items has also not really progressed too much, and I feel like the BKB Shiver's nice and all, like you stay alive a bit better, but having like a Boots of Travel or a Mask of Madness, a Shadow Blade, some mobility item just helps you out so much as far as finding those jumps. Having the extra movement speed is just so valuable.
PA now looking to come in. Ice Blast off the mark. These Ice Blasts have not been connecting. That's 3 now that have gotten little done. They will fissure chains. Do they want to lasso him? A bit risky with that swap in position. Still only level 2, but level 2 is normally enough. They get the lasso up, though, a little bit slow, and the reactions was 3-4-3. Chains pulled in into an awkward predicament. Earthshaker lumbering forward, going to back on out of here. Already dropped the Echo Slam. They don't manage to kill him off, though. Sniperino kept alive. 2D blinks forward. He does get stunned for a moment as pulled into critical HP. Will end up falling. Never got to use the Satanic. They lose their Phantom Assassin. Now the chase going the other way, though. Familiars on the hunt. There's a buyback at the ready if necessary. And with Ravage on cooldown, even though it looks like a kind of a bad fight for 5-Eva, Avenge for PA, they may just get a Roshan out of this.
Yeah. Could have been a bit worse as well for CSW. The Venge having just level 2 swap is really kind of hurting them. They need that max range swap, but Venge not even close to level 16 at this stage, which makes things a bit harder to keep Chains alive if he's on the front lines. Venge has to position very carefully, but now there's a force up. So Venge, I think, got forced up by a teammate there to get in close enough for the swap, but now can do so himself. So it's one of those things where you can't always like time things perfectly. Like as soon as that lasso happens, your teammate forces you in, but you'll have to be able to do so himself.
Getting caught out here. The Familiars, though, getting off 1, 2. Make it 3 stuns. Back up. Not coming. Assassinates all that's there. They were trying to help out. But
forced off the wrong way by KS on the AA, but was expecting his teammate to maybe just hightail it out of there. They'll lose Familiars too, so bit of a cooldown on that, although he will have it when he comes back up.
But that's Roche. So much for 5-Eva maybe getting it.
Yep.
Even though they don't have Ravage, they still find the picks.
Kind of item limited. Musica can drop his treads, but looks like Sniper will actually take the Aegis, leaving his Shadow Blade on the ground for the Venge to carry on.
CSW just continuing to outplay 5-Eva over the past, I don't know, what would you call it, 10 minutes at this point. We're now 57 minutes in. It's only been 34 kills. Still no lanes of Rax claimed. And if we go to a game 3, this will quickly become a very long series.
Oh, yeah. And this, yeah, it felt like 5EVO just started to gain control. We're winning most of the fights, but it's back the other way now. And CSW, late game, I feel like shouldn't be looking great because Batrider is such a good initiator. You've got Lincoln Spheres all over the place on the 5EVO. Well, you've got the one Lincoln Sphere, possibly a second coming soon on your PA. You've got a Refresher Earthshaker. It feels like the team fight should be generally favoring 5EVO, but CSW, yeah, just outplaying, and the MKBs are just making PA just not as relevant as she'd like to be.
And speaking of that sniper, 7,000 gold banked with an Aegis.
That is...
Maybe you just pick up that rapier now and look to win the game.
The Mask of Madness a possible like item you could replace with like a butterfly.
Butterfly could be good here. PA not going for an MKB. I mean, could buy it. Technically, could just buy a Hex right now instead, but not really a classic PA item.
Mid lane, here we go. Smoke up and down they go. Looking like they're going to maybe run into the sniper.
They have their Firefly going. Who do they get the jump on here? It's that Sniperino blasted and dealt with. Aegis down. Do they re-engage a second time? Everyone from CSW streaming in. Shivas will be dropped. Fissures there as Chains comes out. Is going to be swapped back towards safety. Goes to work with the MKB now. Mask of Madness coming through. Miracle almost finished off. Quap Bolt narrowly dodged as Miracle force staffs himself away. Chizbug on the chase. Out comes your Ice Blast. A nice Ravage as well. And the chain, or rather not your Ice Blast, your Chain Frost as well. And it'll come in, do a lot of damage. And Echo though. Miracle has a second Echo, has a second BKB. They brought down 3. They want this Quap. They get the Abyssal up. It could be Musica down as well. It could be 5. He's going to try to retreat, limp away to safety. TP's out from the tree line. The Tidehunter will live. The Quap also barely surviving. But finally, 5EVO start a fight with a lasso. Man, it's been a while since they did that.
You isolate the sniper, even though he has the Aegis, so he comes back with that second life, but he's just so far away from the rest of the team. Killing him a second time isn't too big a problem. Queen of Pain! Uh-oh! Musica, please!
They had this ward.
Oh. Find them, bring him down. And now you're tied on the Radiant side. At least completes a Refresher. I'm going to pop it immediately to get that Ravage up for this defense.
Oh, that hurts. Now 3 minutes before they have the double. He thought 5EVO were going high ground, but I think with the sniper buyback, they wouldn't have gone anyway. So, not the end of the world, but if the fight happens in the next 3 minutes, it could turn out to be.
And now CSW is saying, we need some Lincolns of our own. It's going to be the sniper purchasing one, which is not exactly ideal. You want this hero to be going like pure damage, or at least kind of some...
No, this is obviously a Refresher, Gods. Come on.
Double assassin. You can't even refresh shrapnel, I guess. Like if you refresh, do you get your 3 charges back?
I don't know if you get the I meant just for the assassinate.
How does refresher work with items with charges like shrapnel? That's a
$1 million question.
That is a mechanic I do not know.
Yeah, Lincoln's Fierce Sniper. I mean, lasso is big. Bat can still break it, blink force, and then just lasso him back, but it's not as reliable.
Just one more thing to kind of concern yourself with. It does feel like an item that would be better suited to your Tide, one of your supports, even a Queen of Pain, so your sniper could go pure damage. But at this point, the carry is almost more so Musica. Musica's kind of got that extra mobility the sniper doesn't have with the blink. He's going to have an AC soon, so Musica very, very threatening in these fights, and maybe even a more high priority lasso target for the Bat compared to the sniper. Well,
Gods, you wanted to see that Boots of Travel and Batrider. An hour into the game, we finally get it. And 4.2k gold.
Everyone's pretty rich all across the board. We've got 4 heroes on the die side, 18k net worth plus, more or less. And the Radiant side, they've got just the 3 cores who are farming well. And we'll see how things pan out for them.
Musica. Oh, my.
Yeah, do not stay up there for too long. These Tide Ravages are going to be crucial for CSW. BKBs are getting shorter and shorter. 5 seconds on your Earthshaker, PA down to 5 seconds as well, and Batrider also down to 5 seconds.
And this PA has gone full tank build. Look at these stats. Plus 98 strength. BKB, Satanic, Scotty. And not your typical PA.
Slightly overkill maybe. I guess you go. It's still good damage. You're still going to be critting for 1k plus, but
the thing with the Scott, you get the Scotty here. It's got to be just about the HP because, I mean, the Agi's underwhelming. the Int's unnecessary. You definitely don't need that regen.
Your slow does go through BKB, but that's kind of like a
PA's not really having issues with heroes getting away from her, right? Like, they have Lasso, they have Napalm.
Or if they're getting away, it's because of a swap, and no item is going to really make up for that unless you go like a Blink Dagger on top of your Blink Strike.
Yeah. And you should be able to chase them down anyway with a bat and her Shaker with a Refresher and all these items. It feels like this is purely about just tanking up, making sure he gets to pop the Satanic and just soak up an endless supply of CSW damage.
Well, this game's going the distance, 62 minutes in. I always look at games like this and say, team with a Bat Rider should be the ones to at least have the edge here if they can execute properly. It's still not incredibly easy to execute with the Bat Rider. You have to be careful you don't get baited, that the Venge is always going to be there looking for that counter initiation, but Venge, importantly, still just level 15, does not have that max level swap yet. It's a legitimate concern. It makes Venge's life a lot more difficult with positioning around the map. And
the Lincoln Sphere on the Sniper definitely helps, though, because now if Bat uses the Force Step to break the Lincolns, he won't be... We saw when they couldn't get the swap mid, it was because he blinks, lassos, and then forces. If he doesn't have that force to get himself out of there, then maybe they get the swap off instead. Could be that Lincoln Sphere makes the difference.
The money rune, the late game DD rune, but...
Chat is claiming that the charges are not refreshed.
Okay. That would make the most sense, I think.
At the same time, when you're Rubik, you steal it and you get a full set of 3, so...
Whoa, down go your familiars, but at this point, money for Queen of Pain, giving Queen of Pain 300 gold, who cares? Your Queen of Pain is 6-slotted, has buyback money. If you do 200 damage to a T3 tower, it's worth it for your familiars.
You know the hour grows late when there's just a cheese chilling in the well.
For the Radiant or Dire?
Yeah,
Radiant.
Just a little cheese on the floor. It's getting moldy.
I guess if someone gets back to... If you get back to base and you're like low HP and your base is being sieged, you got to heal up. Instead of Fountain, you say, I'm taking that cheese. Look, some cheese gets better with age, you know? Feel like a good old like French moldy little cheese, some blue cheese.
Does anyone ever really... Oh, great, that cheese looks extra moldy. Now I want to eat it.
Blue cheese is...
I don't think that's the thing.
The more mold, the better on blue cheese.
Yuck. It's gross.
You even had some good old French Saint-Aiguë blue cheese, man. That's you're not living life until you've had some French blue cheese.
That's some pretentious shit right there.
It is. I feel like a wanker even bringing it up. Well,
65 minutes. How long can we go here? It's just been no action. Oh man. A lot on the line, of course. 5EVA, they could close this series out 2-0. CSW. Just want to force that game 3. It is not an elimination match, though, guys. The winner just moves along in the winner's bracket. The loser drops down, but still has one more life to go.
Roshan just doesn't seem like a big deal. Like around the 30 to 50 minute mark, you're always fighting around Roshan. The Aegis and Cheese is kind of like that game-ending item if you can get it. But now, your carries are all 6-slotted. They've kind of routed that big item. Like, if what's Queen of Pain going to drop for an Aegis or Cheese? Your Sniper's similar story.
Yeah, I mean, even getting in like a...
I guess the Mask of Madness. But
I feel like for the QoP, the Ags
true.
goes for... Yeah. Or like you use it to split push, but then you have like a damage item in the well for if a team fight comes. But yeah, I mean, we're really plumbing the depths here. Like you said, the support's having items and having buybacks on all 5 heroes. That's the dream.
Someone like a Bat could Bat's probably the ideal Aegis carry if he had... Well, he doesn't. He can drop the gem.
He's slot limited. Yeah, he could drop. Who's going to carry the gem?
The gem is... The map vision's important. Yeah, the AA is probably your gem carry at this point, and then your Bat's like, well, I'll take the Aegis just because having a second life could matter a lot. But PA, by the way, holding on to that bottle, looking for that GGDD rune. Going to use it to take down Roshan, but... Oh, okay, he's going to drop his bottle now. I was hoping for some, like, let's go win a team fight with a double damage PA, but not going to happen.
Yeah, I think the rune was going to have to be activated soon anyway.
Yeah. The Eternal Envy-esque plays, but... Right now, CSW keeping lanes pushed out as effectively as possible. GoDz, both teams with the high ground.
They've been having a little skirmish over here. There was one for the Radiant, then the Dire drop one. They de-ward that one, and now it's gone back the other way.
Very rarely do these wards get... That's like half the value of these wards is that they don't get de-warded.
It's like really not even on the map. If you look at where the ward is, it's on those like low texture cliffs that don't even look like you should be able to place a ward on them.
It's on the gray zone, yeah. The mountains of Mordor.
You know where the Dota map ends because that's where everything just gets really blah very low textured. The world just gets blurry. And the boundaries of Dota.
So, it's going to be 5 ever. They have got the Aegis on a PA, so PA 3 lives. But I feel like if that 1 life is enough, 3 lives is ultimately not going to necessarily make a big difference. You're either alive or you're dead 3 times. It's one or the other. Depending on what happens with the rest of your team. If you go in alone and then you buy time for your team to get there.
So what you're saying is you're either alive, you're dead less than 3 times, or you're dead 3 times.
No, you're alive or you're dead 3 times. There's no middle
so
ground.
there's no depending on your team.
Nah, there's no middle ground. Yes. If you die once, you're dying 3 times.
Just trying to make you look bad. Sorry, buddy.
It's the
we got to make someone look bad here. This game is lacking action. CSW want to change that though. We're gonna see Mr. Chibix. I wanted to say Chizbug for some reason. In the front lines, Miracle will be swapped off the bat, but they get off the Fissure to start. Now an Echo Slam on Tootie. Has the double Ravage. Needs to use it soon. He gets up the first, not the second. No buyback. Uh-oh. They're lacking a Ravage for round 2. Miracle will refresh. He's going to quickly chuck out a Fissure. Chibix going to go down once. He's got a second life. BKB used now by Musica, but they're down 2, actually. Your Venge also not having buyback. Buyback status. The other, well, not the other, but the Sniper as well as the Quap have it. All 5 Dire do as well. And they still are sitting on some BOT buybacks. They're going to push in. Now looking for their first full lane of racks. They only got a tier 3 earlier. As Yacero makes his way in, will tank and assassinate. Still keeps on moving forward. Time to trot back to the well. The tier 4s. The rest of the map ain't safe. Lasso's cooling down in 15. Heroes not respawning fully for 40. And now they rotate towards mid. Gonna tank and assassinate here once again. They still have
5 buybacks here on the Dire side as well.
They've got the full gauntlet. And BOT buybacks on Earthshaker, AA, actually on every single hero in the game. They've got 3 heroes with like 8k gold plus. Well, 343 is going to initiate. He swaps. Chibix taking a lot of damage, but manages to pop that Satanic. Survives for now, even through the quad bolt. Blinks in, will die. Where's your BOT buybacks? They're not using them. They're actually just giving up lives. They give up 4 lives. Nobody returning to the fight. This is without the tide.
Musica Dota. This guy is carry Queen of Pain. He's almost entering Mushi status. 9.9k gold. He's about to reach that 10k gold mark.
Look at the current gold. There are 5 heroes above 5k.
Wow.
7 heroes above 3k. And all but 2 are above 2k.
They may be holding the buybacks to
They're
try
gonna
and
have to like
catch like a pick off on someone like Musica. Like if he pushes and you blink, stun him with the Earthshaker, as you buy back, you may be able to kill him off. Force his buyback as well, whereas if you buy back now, he just retreats.
I mean, speaking of Mushi level shenanigans, PA just bought an MKB and still has buyback. Yeah. Jeez. All right, the late game Shadowblade. This is the game winner for Miracle.
Ooh, gem not online.
It's on GoDz.
On GoDz, yeah. A hero who's often seen very far back and not really in position to scout out some kind of initiation.
Your Lasso comes out on Musica. Does have a buyback of his own. May need to use it. Gets mech'd. Ice Blast coming in hot. Will hit chains here, it looks like. No more Lassos, though. Miracle. Shadow blading in, but that Lich is in position. He's going to go with an Echo. Doesn't get any follow-up off. Miracle may end up dropping here. He has buyback if needed. They use 1 Ravage. The refresh online. They've got a second. Palossum going to fall. That's a dieback from the Visage. Is this the opening for CSW? Cheese is dropped somewhere.
Nice play there. And Musica picks it up off the ground to heal himself back up. So he's got full HP. He's going for it. They're going for the throne, LD.
There is buyback on PA. There's 2 lives on PA. Earthshaker just used his buyback.
Okay.
This is going to be a little dicey here, but that PA doesn't have MKB now. Hits a whole lot harder. Goes in for the initiation onto Musica. Now the BKB, the crits bring him down. Chains could be next. Nice swap. Well, maybe not so nice. Chains still dropping. Will end up falling. Sniper down. Has the buyback. Quap also has it. They're going to chuck out a Ravage. Where are the TPs in? Here comes Musica. They'll bring down KS. A long-range dagger.
Your PA still has buyback, though, so he's not going to be too afraid to go and initiate in. They're also pinging down this big creep wave at bottom. Something 5-Ever could consider is going for a boot to travel in, forcing TPs back and going for a bit of a throne race.
Radiant team does not have Glyph. Dire team does not either.
No more Ravages for 2 minutes on the CSW side. And this is definitely a timing where 5-Ever will be looking to take fights and find something to go their way.
The effigies, gods, the tier 4s. If they want to go, they got to go now. The creeps will do the work for them.
Well, they're pinging this. They want this top. They want to get that second lane.
Oh, you can't be waiting for the wave. CSW, either you go high ground or you back now. The bracks are starting to fall. Tier 4 is exposed. They're taking too long here. And PA has bought the BOTs. They may just go all in on the throne. And if it comes to a throne race, I'm not entirely sure is the edge here. Good minus armor from the Queen of Pain. Double MKB. They've got 2 right-click heroes, but, well, the Tier 4 advantage definitely going 5F's way. So perhaps with that, they'll have to back chains, even BKB, just to make sure he gets back to the base safely. 5Eva, when the dust settles, it's a full lane of Rax mid down for both teams. It's a full lane down bottom for CSW, a 1 ranged Rax advantage for 5Eva, as well as a tier 3 advantage. They've got this one down. They have 1 up bottom and a tier 4. So they overall hold a decent structural lead here. Buyback-wise, we're looking at only 1 buyback for each team. For a while. It's pretty damn even. It's still the structural lead for 5-0, but it's not the lead they had 2 minutes ago. 2 minutes ago, they had bottom lane completely taken in the melee at mid and had not lost any of their base. Well, GoDz, this is it. They have no buybacks. They're making that gambit down mid. You can't really smoke gank the fountain, though. That's not a play that works, especially not now that there's a little ramp. So if they're sitting this far back, CSW, not likely to get caught. 5Eva, so deep. Do they get that initiation off? They don't have the vision right now. It is daytime.
Especially without Ravage. Going to mention that before. You do not want to take risks when you don't have that big ultimate to play around. No buyback as well on your sniper. That's the thing. No buyback on sniper co-op. No Ravage. That would have been the GG. That was just... Everything's over. If Bat just finds a lasso on 1. And now he's got the double lasso with the refresher orb. I love this pickup coming out from Ysera. But not going to see it come into play right away.
This goes on much longer. I think every hero, except for that Venge Lich, are going to be 5-6 slotted at this point.
So Queen of Pain replaces the Ag Scepter. Won't have that spam ball ultimate, but gets a lot more right-click damage with this Daedalus pickup.
They have double right-clickers now, which could come into play if there's a throne race.
Yeah.
Okay, 5Eva, though, they have that Visage PA. I feel like that if the familiars are alive, that's the trump card.
Music can always get like a refresher as a 7th item on a career, so you can refresh that long cooldown ultimate. It's over 2 minutes, and refresh like a BKB if you have that career near you. But still needs a bit more money to have buyback. Well, I guess buyback's still on cooldown, so refresher orb should be probably the consideration that's going to come next for him as a 7th item.
I was about to correct you about the Ags, but yeah, it's been a while since he had that one. So we're just getting to that point where what was a great item for the first hour is no longer the go-to pickup. Well, the one downside here for CSW is that 5Eva they used quadruple buyback, and they're going to get them off cooldown pretty soon. 2.5 minutes to go. Roche up in less than that time. So if CSW don't do something soon, then 5Eva may have... I mean, let's see. How many buybacks are they going to have? They're about 700 gold short on all of them. I feel like they'll farm at least 1 or 2 of these. Then you got Aegis Cheese, potentially. If they get all of that, they're sitting on a metric crap ton of life.
Well, yeah, still it's kind of mentioned this before, but Aegis at this point, it's like, who do you put it on? Everyone's kind of 6-slotted. You can drop your... Like, a Visage could take it by dropping his TP.
I think Visage is a good candidate. Earthshaker, maybe you even... I don't know what you drop.
Force Staff or something, but...
Yeah, he's not a great candidate.
Even like AA. Like a Bat Rider would rather have Force Staff than Aegis or Cheese, which sounds kind of weird to say, but if he has buyback, he'd rather have the Force Staff, because it gives him that mobility tool to pull a hero out of position, which can win you a team fight. If you blink and lasso but don't have a Force Staff, you could just die, and then, even if you have an Aegis, you just die a second time. That's where...
Yeah, Aegis definitely falls off at this stage of the game.
Yeah. You may as well secure it if you know your opponents aren't going to contest it. They leave their courier there. They're going to keep on scouting it out. And hey, it's a second life on an AA, on a Visage. So even a spell like Cold Feet could theoretically have a lot of implications in a team fight if you somehow get a Cold Feet proc on someone like a Sniper or Breaker Lincoln's using that Cold Feet. So keeping even just your supports alive can matter in a late game scenario.
Sometimes all you need is one hero to drag the creeps to Fountain. Like if it's creeps that might win the game.
We've seen the Mask of Madness AA win games, LD. That's the true carry.
Here's your Vlads for Venge.
Yep. Nice little pickup. Won't have buyback, but I think what's a buyback? I guess you can have that. You buy back and your swap cooldown is pretty short, so you maybe have a second swap. But Venge finally going to hit level 16. Hallelujah. 3-4-3. 1 creep. Come on, man. You need to find some creeps. Head down bottom lane. Leech something off a 2D here. That's been a big missing spell for the CSW squad.
Wow. Easiest Roche in a while for 5-0. Won't even be remotely contested. They have just been picking up Roche after Roche after Roche this game. If they don't win, that's going to be pretty shocking. The Visage will be the one to grab the Aegis. As mentioned, seems like the best remaining candidate at this point. And now, GoDz, we check buybacks. Earthshaker at A. Well, actually, sorry. Earthshaker about to have his. Batrider and Ancient Apparition very short on theirs.
Yeah. So a lot of red right now, but that's going to change as soon as Sniper and Queen of Pain, their timer kicks in. The Earthshakers kicks in. The Batrider, short 600 gold. But outside of that, there's probably going to be about 7 to 8 buybacks on the playing field soon. Everyone basically apart from the hard supports. The AA, the Venge can be the two kind of big heroes not having a buyback. Once
we're going towards super late game now. About to clip that 80-minute mark, and no sign that either team wants to make a move.
Everyone just, I mean, there's no items you can easily get. Queen of Pain actually replaced the Shivers with a Heart of Tarask. I don't know. I don't know. You have enough armor. Like, the Shivers you're not picking up for the armor. Like, well, you do pick it up for the armor. The attack slow kind of falls off a little bit once people start hitting fast enough. So I guess raw HP, I don't know. It's one of those things where you could probably theorycraft and pull out your calculator to figure out what's going to be better depending on the fight. But the other item which I think could have been nice was a Skadi for a Queen of Pain, so you get the slow as well. But yeah, I'm not sure how things.
If you want a base race, maybe even think about like a Desolator as a pocket item to have in the stash.
Rapier is always a possibility.
At that point, she is very squishy though. If it's not a heart, probably needs to be a defensive item of some kind.
It's nice when you can like take damage and then if you blink out, you get that fast reach. Regenerating fast at Fountain is kind of important at this stage if you get taken out of a fight and not killed. Sometimes in a fight you'd rather die so you can buy back and be full HP. But
Range Racks under siege. Familiar's gonna get just zapped down by the sniper. They don't last for long at this stage of the game.
So at that point, there's basically 8 buybacks.
Well, they did a couple hundred points of damage to the Range Racks.
Hey, still doing damage. That Familiar. Gotta deal with it. GoDz swings on in. 4k gold on your Lich. That's a hero who... Not really any clear obvious items a Lich can buy at this stage of the game. Something like a Hex isn't too bad. He doesn't...
Debt eggs.
Yeah,
it's never actually going to bounce. That was one of the most disgusting pieces of Reddit theory crafting. Oh my god, look how amazing this Lich Eggs is going to be. Never seen it in a pro game. Actually, once, a Meepa.
So he buys 20 Tangos.
Okay. I mean, whatever. Buy what you'd like. They'll swap in the Earthshaker to start off. They get the Hex off. Miracle going to drop off the bat. He does have buyback. 2 minutes on the sidelines. Maybe forced to use it. All of a sudden, on the run is your PA. That Ravage narrowly missing, though. Has the Satanic. Has the BKB. Using nothing. Just getting wrecked. Where's the spell casting? Where's the abilities being used? Doesn't get him off. Now Ysera. Lasso. TP out. Oh, man.
Dang.
Did you just watched himself die?
Tide just wrecking face. That first Ravage and Hex, and then he refreshes. Doesn't use the second Ravage, but gets the second Hex off onto the PA, and PA just gets destroyed.
You got to cast your BKB there.
Well, this is... You know, one of the items, I think it was Black who I saw do this when he gets PA in an 80-minute game. You know what's better than the Skadi? A Refresher. This is where you need that 6-item Refresher. Refreshing your BKB, your Satanic, and your Abyssal Blade is insane on a PA. It's not even like a 7th item. I feel like you want the item just in your inventory so you can make sure you get it off when you need it. Because having a 10 seconds worth of Magic Immunity, as well as 2 Abyssal Blades in a fight, is huge for a PA. And that's where I feel...
I agree. It's really strong, but...
The Skadi doesn't do anything for PA.
You got to use it once.
Yeah.
He didn't even use it once.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. That getting caught... I think maybe even both Hexes... I didn't see where the first Hex went, but after the Refresher, that Hex on PA crushed her.
Oh, the first one was on the Earthshaker. You got swap Hex.
Okay. Well, all right now, CSW, you're going to force out some buybacks, or at least one on the Visage to start things off.
There's a glyph, and these other 2 should respawn in time, so... Well, I guess they don't really lose that much when the dust settles. They still have their cheese. They only use 1 buyback. Everybody else will respawn. And Tide is lacking a Ravage. I don't know if CSW can actually push this, GoDz.
Did you see what GoDz did, by the way? I was like, why did he buy 20 Tengos? Like, you can't pull money with that. And he has...
Jesus.
He's gone full anti-Batrider.
No, that's anti-Visage. I think that's anti-Visage more than anti-Batrider.
You know, you can do a Quelling Blade, but the Quelling Blade cooldown means this would take a long time. And he's like, I have all this money. there's no item in the game which really helps me at this point.
I like that.
You could get...
Now, let's... I mean, it's going to look rather silly when the trees respawn in a couple minutes.
Yeah, he'll just do it again, I guess. So, gets... Yeah, Vision to at least deal with that the Bat Rider who Firefly's in for a lasso, and more importantly, like you mentioned, the Familiars. Because that is their last rack standing, one melee barracks before it's Mega Creeps. Not that Mega Creeps is necessarily GG.
Uh-oh, here we go. Hold that thought. There's going to be a Hex on Chivix to start it off. He takes a Queen of Payload. He's going to die again. This PA can't do a thing. Now the second lasso refresh. Down goes the Bat Rider. But the Echoes. #1 for Miracle. Needs that second. Focusing on Chains. Fissure.
Nice.
Not going to get it done. Chains on the run, though. The secondary Ravage staying alive from distance. Will end up falling. In the end, they triple buyback. Now a buyback for Miracle. It's just an insane little skirmish here bottom. Going in deep is Palossum. Brings down that Venge. A triple for the Visage in the end.
Ooh, this is still not over, though. Two big buybacks, Bat and PA.
No Ravages, no Echo Slams.
Yes, CSW to be very careful.
There is one lasso. Bat Rider has one.
As much as that Venge kill at the end there looks like, oh, it's just a Venge. If you sold your Venge alive, you could push because you have the swap save. Not having the swap save means CSW, if they push here, someone like a Sniper can get Blink lassoed and you lose your Sniper without a buyback. So not having your Venge here makes a big difference. That was actually really important to Visage to kill that Vengeful Spirit before going down.
They want to siege this. The pings come out from that Visage, but not a whole lot he can do. Miracle going to struggle to sneak in. They actually jump in with Tootie that gets up the Hex again. Game-winning Hex. He's got a next Ravage. He throws out that out. It hits nothing. And the end is they will be forced back to the well. The Chain Frost bouncing. It can't bounce back to Miracle. He may end up dying. Now the PA going in. These Hexes are just winning the game for CSW. Oh, the blink forward, though, gets Musica.
Satanic.
This could be a dieback. Satanic coming out. Musica retreating. Don't tell me he's going to live. Your dagger will end him. Now GoDz could be next. 4 dead. Buybacks are lacking on 3 of these heroes. There's no creeps in the base, but with Tootie getting Fissure blocked, this could be it. An Ultra kill. Finally, the PA getting something done, actually using his items for once.
They push without buybacks and without Vengeful Spirit. I kind of mentioned that if that Visage had not killed the Vengeful Spirit that last fight, I think that fight goes completely different. PA is just like, they have no buybacks. There's no way for Sniper to get out. There's no Venge. The 4-staffs weren't even there apart from like maybe a Lich 4-staff, and they GG out. It's 5-0 with the 2-0 victory. 85 minutes of Dota 2. What a game.
It was slow in the middle, but it delivers with a bang in the end.
That was absolutely crazy. 5-0. I mean, that could have gone either way. Miracle is just... he said, effing well played. He even apologizes for his vulgarity there, but I got to agree. That was just an amazing game. Really well played by both teams. The slow mid game was definitely kind of a stage where both teams weren't quite confident what to do. A few mistakes here or there, but you get to like 80 minutes into a game and you're not playing things perfectly at that stage. It's just too crazy.
Well, I would not say it was smooth. This is not the most convincing performance we've seen thus far in our SCA Phase 2 qualifier, but it's a win for the Miracle squad, and they do it with kind of an unexpected draft. Miracle, 2 games now. We saw the Safe Lane Spirit Breaker. Now we're seeing the 3.5 position Earthshaker, if you want to call it that. You always have to worry about this team just going back to the basics. They could bust out that Naga strat. Maybe we see him on a Slark or something like that. And it's going to be a concern if you game plan too much around this type of Dota, because it may not be what 5-EVA actually pull out in a big match moving forward.
You let your guard down, there comes your Naga Siren. And well, we know what the Miracle Naga Siren can do, but it's the full... I feel like this is the one thing with this team now, more so than with First Departure. It feels like it's not all about Miracle. The rest of the team seems to be a bit more balanced as a whole. Pelosin, who used to be known for his great mid plays on the support role, making plays happen. You've got Chibix at mid, who's doing well. I feel like the big picture for this team is a much more balanced team compared to the old First Departure. So if they decide a strategy or a game is going to be suited to a Miracle Nagasang, they may go for it. But end of the day, they play a balanced strat where Miracle isn't the key piece. They can still win games.
Well, with that said, it's a 2-0 sweep. We will have another series coming up. That series is going to be
Arcanus versus MVP Phoenix.
I was hoping you knew what it was. Otherwise, I was going to have to look. But
don't worry, our producer is on top of it as well. Here we go.
You can check out the brackets already updated. 5-EVA moving right along into the winner's bracket. You've got CSW dropping down to the lower bracket. And, well, as you mentioned, guys, coming up next will be Arcanus versus MVP Phoenix with their retooled roster. looking to see if they can have better showing than their brethren MVP Hot 6, who really struggled with the absence of Jerax.
Yeah. Well, that game coming up after the break, I think we've got not too much time. It was a 2-0, but it was a long, long 2-0. So next game is scheduled to start right now, I believe.
1 hour, it says?
1 hour?
Are you sure?
I don't know.